Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanted to start this a little different today. And Danny will probably recognize why and the story behind it. Um, Welcome back to Allison Unfiltered. But good morning, good morning, good morning. Came from our tour guide in Dubai. And I was thinking about that this morning. Like, I don't know, I heard Tony in my head saying, good morning, good morning, good morning. That's how he greeted us every time he saw us in the mornings. And we were with him for, gosh, 7 days. That trip was actually a trip that we earned with Xyngular. And Dubai is probably one of the most incredible places that we have ever been. Total bucket list. Never somewhere we would go on our own, but some of the things that we saw while we were there were just incredible. I mean, we went to the diamond market and I came home with some pretty cool diamonds, right? Um, we saw Ferrari World. We were on the Yasmarine circuit. Oh, can y'all hear that thunder? It's thunderstorming here. It's been thundering for like 24 hours straight at this point. It's been pretty great. Okay, maybe not 24 hours, but probably about 16 hours straight. It's been constant. So you're probably going to hear it in the background. And I love it. So I hope you love it too. But back to Dubai. We went to the souk market. We went to the presidential palace. I mean, it was just an incredible trip. We stayed at the Atlantis, Dubai, on the Little Palm, right? And the only thing that we rode camels in the desert. We had a dinner set up in the desert with belly dancers and light shows, and it was just crazy. We went sand bashing or sand duning, like where they took us in these 4x4s and we went up all these big sand hills, and it's just crazy. So much fun. But the only thing I didn't get to do in Dubai, and this is maybe something that you don't know about me, I went skydiving when I was 24, and it was one of my favorite things that I've ever done in my whole life. It was a tandem jump, but it was a 45-second free fall, and it was 11,000 feet. The most incredible thing ever. And on my first jump, I got to dock with people in the air because there were like multiple people that did it that day, and they were all part of the same group. So I actually got to dock with multiple people. That's crazy, right? I wanted to skydive in Dubai. And they had signs, but Danny wouldn't do it with me. I get it. He has a fear of heights, and I totally understand that. But if I could ever go back, I would totally skydive over the Little Palm, because who would not want to see the Little Palm? Like from the air, from that distance. Oh my God, it would have been amazing. Anyway, so that's my little dream is, and the only thing I do regret about Dubai is not going skydiving. And there was such a small group of us. There were only 10 of us there. And the one person that probably would have gone skydiving with me that day had kidney stones. And so it probably wasn't a good idea for him. He was struggling, but man, that would have been so freaking cool to skydive in Dubai. Like really cool. So, today I want to jump into a couple of things and then talk about some current events that are happening in our life. Oh, but I didn't get to finish telling you about Tony. So Tony was our tour guide. He took us everywhere in Dubai. He did everything, like he made sure we had the food we needed, we had the accommodations we needed, like it we were treated like royalty. He made sure at the diamond market that everybody was fair and the prices were good. He even he even told us about this little place in the market where we had to go up these, like, I'm not even kidding y'all, like back alley stairs in through a door that had like a camera and a vault, and into that door where it had like a hidden door to where like all the goods were, right? All the goods. And we were told about this by a person in the company, and Tony knew the people, so we may or may not have bought a couple of Rolexes that may or not have been really not expensive. Anyway, it was cool. It was creepy. It was like out of a movie, but it was really cool. Danny's probably gonna want to edit that out, but hopefully he'll keep it because it was good stuff. You know, the really crazy thing is that I wore like short shorts in Dubai. I'm a Texas girl, right? So we have Miss Me shorts and Rock Revival shorts and all that stuff that have all the bling on them and stuff. And gosh, this is gonna kind of sound rude, but I'm used to most of the places where I go. Like, I mean, people check me out. It is what it is, right? Especially the guys, sometimes the girls. But this place was so different. Like, I was I looked like a whore to these guys. Like the people that are of Dubai, that are from Dubai. It's mostly people from other countries, mostly tourists, but the people that were there, it was crazy. Like, I wasn't covered and all the things, and so you still had the people. I remember sitting at dinner one night and there was this young girl and she was covered completely from head to toe. The only thing you could see were her eyes, and she had this thing over her face, and every time she went to take a bite she had to raise the flap and take a bite. And I thought, God, what, that's awful. I get it, it's the religion, but for her husband to be sitting there in a polo shirt and shorts in the heat of that place, and she's got to wear all that, just uh, it just makes me sick. And I was not one to cover my head either, so I made a decision not to go into the mosque. The mosque is not a historical place, right? It was built not too long ago, and it was just like, let's show off what we have, right? So there wasn't a lot of want to go in there, and I also didn't want to have to wear a hijab. I did not want to have to cover my head. Um, that is not part of my religion. That is not something I embraced. I am a Christian, and so I chose to stay on the bus and hang out instead of going into the mosque and checking it out because I wasn't interested in covering my head. And a lot of people would think that was crazy or silly or a missed opportunity, but I just felt in my heart of hearts like that's where I was with that. So a couple of us stayed on the bus. It was pretty cool. We had a good time. Um, so anyway, Tony was amazing, and if you ever go to Dubai, let me know and I will figure out how to get you hooked up with Tony because he's the best tour guide on the planet. That trip was fast and furious. And it reminds me, this that we're talking about the 19 hard things I do to be successful. It reminds me of Tony. He said, number 11 in this is, I deliver results when making excuses is an option, right? Um, Tony was like that. Like, it didn't matter if Tony wasn't having a good day or Tony didn't feel good or whatever. Tony had people to take care of and he had a job to do, and he handled it no matter what. He could have made excuses. He could have said, "Oh, I don't really feel good today, so I'm not going to be 100%." But he never did. Turns out after we left that trip, Tony was actually pretty sick and ended up in the hospital, but we never knew. And I think to a degree that's important, right? Especially, I don't personally think that my team needs to know when something, or like all the gory details of when something bad is going on, right? That's not my team's burden to carry. And at the end of the day, they don't care. And I don't mean that ugly, right? But everybody's got their own stuff going on. And at the end of the day, we all have things happening. We all have bad things happening. We all have good things happening. And yes, we can cheer each other on. And yes, we can pray for each other. But, I post a lot of my life on Facebook. And if my team wants to know what's going on with me, they can check out my Facebook, right? I don't need to put it in my team chats. And I just, it's just not where I feel like I think that there has to be a separation from business and personal, right? And I know we get kind of personal with this, but it's not my team's job to carry my burdens. And it's not my job to carry my team's burdens, right? So most of the time, 98% of the time, my team doesn't know I'm having a hard time or I'm having a bad day because I deliver results when making an excuse is an option. I'm there for them. I answer the questions. I do all the things. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with how that goes because I am still taking care of the things that I need to take care of and being responsible when I could absolutely make an excuse as to why I can't or don't or won't. Everybody's got it. What does it say? Excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got one, right? So here's another thing, another way to look at it too. Like, when you're helping other people, y'all, I could wake up in the morning and be like, it's really cloudy today and I don't feel good and I have a headache and I'm just going to stay in bed. And I'm not going to worry about messaging my people. I just don't feel like working today. Really? You're going to do that to the people that gave you money that you said you would take care of them and then you just don't because you don't feel good? Are you kidding me? Grow up. Like, life is hard. Y'all need to get over it. Life is always going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's just not. I mean, it's just not. And if you try to live it the easy way, it's going to make your life hard. And if you do the hard things, it's going to make your life easier. It's 100% true. So when when I am coaching people like through their jump starts and things, my people don't know anything is wrong with me unless I've posted something on Facebook and they happen to see it there. I would never in a million years bring it into a chat. Like I can't tell you. It was almost a running joke for a little while because sorry, I'm trying to fix this cord because it's pulling my camera. It's being really weird. Um I'm just gonna unplug it. So it was kind of a running joke for a little while that when I would message someone, they would tell me that somebody died. Their aunt died or their brother died or and listen, I am empathetic across the board 100% because I do have people that died, but I don't think I don't tell people those things to get sympathy from people. And I think that's the difference for me. It's it's not something that I share because I could be having the worst day on the planet and someone else is in the middle of a jump start and they ask me questions or they're struggling. Guess what I'm going to do? I am going to lift them up and I am going to pray for them and I am going to cheer them on and I'm going to do everything I can to rally for them. It doesn't matter how I feel because I deliver results when making excuses is an option. Y'all, if you're doing it, stop it. Stop telling your customers your problems. Stop telling your team your problems, all the things. Like, I get it. You have like people on your team that have become friends of yours that you confide in and you talk to. That's different, right? But I'm talking about as a whole, making it known to your entire team in your group chat, things like that. Doesn't belong. Um, I deliver results when making an excuse is an option. That can go for myself personally. My weight loss and being able to keep it off. Everybody is capable of doing what I've done. It's a choice. I lost 75 pounds in 9 months. I've kept it off for 7 years, and that's been a choice. I choose to be a product of the product because when I'm a product of the product, guess what? People ask me for help and they come to me and they want me to help them. Why do they want me to help them? Because they see that I've had success. They see that I'm consistent. They see that I'm constantly posting. I deliver results when making excuses is an option. I could make all the excuses in the world. Well, I'm busy, or I'm trying to take care of other people, or I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do that, or I work full time, or I have kids, or I had all that. When I started this, I had a full-time job, a part-time job, 4 kids at home, a husband, 2 dogs, a house to take care of, the whole 9 yards. I didn't know how I was going to fit anything else on my plate, but I did. And you can, and it's possible. It's about your priorities. So you deliver results when making excuses is an option. If you make it a priority, um, just like I talked about last week, you can't just leave a baby in a shitty diaper, right? You have to change their diaper. Why? Because if you don't, they're going to get diaper rash and then they're going to cry and they're going to be uncomfortable, and you don't want that, right? Why can't you just put that much priority on the other people that you take care of that you took money from, and you're spending money, right? You're spending money on groceries and your electric bill and your car payment and all the things with the money that people, um, the commissions you made from the people that ordered from you, right? And you're telling me that you don't have time for them? That absolutely blows my mind. And I call total bullshit, because you know what? If you put down the Netflix, and you put down the scrolling on Facebook, and you put down, and you delegated. You delegated things to your family that they could totally be responsible for, right? You can make excuses for everything. You know, when Danny and I first started this, we sat down and was like, we talked to Holly and Steve Parrish, and Steve said some words to Danny that changed everything. He said, "I make a path for Holly. I make a path so that she can do all the income producing things. So if that means that I need to grocery shop that week, or I need to do some of the cooking, or I need to do some of the laundry so she can focus on building this business and making money, then that's what I'm going to do." And I don't understand men who don't support their wives. Like, why are you even married to that person? Why are you in a relationship with someone who doesn't support you? And I get it. Danny and I just have a very straightforward, good marriage, and we are here to support each other because we are partners 100% each, right? And I get it. Not everything's like that, but you choose to let that happen. You choose for it to be that way because you're scared to have that conversation, or you're scared to be told no, you're scared of rejection or whatever. But if that person truly loves you and they're your husband, they're going to support you in whatever they do, with whatever you do, and vice versa. It works both ways, right? And if they don't, I damn sure wouldn't be married to that person. That is a fact, because that is also a choice. So there's that. Um, I deliver results when making excuses is an option. And if you're just catching this, I'm going to go over a couple of these. We're on number 11. Number 1 is I make the call I'm afraid to make. Number 2 is I get up earlier than I want to. 3, I give more than I get in return right away. 4, I care more about others than they care about me. 5, I fight when I'm already injured, bloody, and sore. 6, I feel unsure and insecure when playing it safe seems smarter. 7, I lead when no one else is following me yet. 8, I invest in myself even though no one else is. 9, I look like a fool while I'm looking for answers I don't have. 10, I grind out the details when it's easier to shrug them off. 11 is what we're on. I deliver results when making excuses is an option. You can always make excuses, but figure out what you're doing in life. Figure out what you're here for. Figure out where you want to go and where you want to be. Put the excuses aside and just work. I read something else the other day, and it said you can read 100 self-help and discipline books. They're not going to help you unless you put action to that, right? Nothing's going to change unless you take action. And I think that is one of the most important aspects of this is I take action and deliver those results even when making excuses is an option. Now listen, I am a human being, right? I have made excuses for things in my life and it hasn't worked out very well for me. But that doesn't happen very often, right? After my grandmother died, um, in October of 22, I I would say I probably from October to December after the holidays, I gained about 15 pounds back because I didn't give a shit. I was so sad. I still took care of everyone else, but I wasn't taking care of myself. And I think what people forget in that is that when you make yourself a priority and when you feel good, it makes you want to help other people. But if you aren't and you don't, you fall into that imposter syndrome. And we'll talk about that at some point too. But it's like, how can I tell somebody what to do when I'm not even sticking to it myself? And then that starts creating feelings of insecurity. And so you just don't. And that is one of the worst downfalls in this business as a coach is you think that people think you're supposed to be perfect and you're not. I am not perfect. I screw up. It happens. But man, when I'm on track and I feel good, I feel really freaking good. Like we started this GLPX, I'm down almost 16 pounds. No, I'm down 16 pounds now. 15 or 16. Oh no, I have to do the math again. But it feels great, right? I'm on track. I'm feeling good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, like I said, you don't have to be perfect, but the less excuses that you make for yourself, the better your life's going to be. Like, just get off your ass and do it. That's it. Whether you want to or not, whether you feel like it or not, it doesn't matter. Just do it. Just do what you say you're going to do and be consistent in it. And you're always going to do hard things if you want to be successful. But if you're not really worried about being successful and creating a future, then stay where you are. But what if? All right, that's enough on that. So I want to tell you about some current events real quick before we go. Yesterday was the 2024 solar eclipse. We had a perfect view from our backyard. I I get it. It's cool, right? It was cool to see it. It was cool to watch it with my own eyes. It was cool. I think the coolest part was when it got dark and all the lights came on in the backyard. And then I saw Venus, the planet Venus, like to the right hand side of the sun. That was really cool. That was the coolest moment for me. I loved how it was very ominous and cloudy and dramatic. Like I feel like God was creating some drama for us for this thing. And then it was so crazy because it was all cloudy and stuff. You can go on my Facebook and check out some of the pictures I got. I'm sure you saw it too. Where we were, it was super cloudy and then it cleared up a little bit and then it'd get real cloudy and then the clouds were all different colors because of the sun behind the moon. And and then once the total eclipse, well, once totality had happened and it started coming back the other way, all the clouds went away. It was the craziest things. It was like ooh, drama all the way up to it. And then after it was like, okay, here you go. Now you can see everything. Ugh. I mean, I don't know why people traveled and did the things that they did and why there was so much media hype and why the National Guard was called out and all the drama. I really don't know, but it was cool. It was a lifetime, a once in a lifetime experience to be able to see it and experience it, and I can say that I did, and it was cool. Um, I already told you about the crazy storms we have right now, and there's some flooding. Our friends moved from across the street. They're officially gone, and I'm so sad because I love them so much and I miss them and already, and I keep looking for my friend's Jeep. It sucks. Like these are the people we've been hanging out with the most for the last like 5 years. Crazy. On a different note, there were some things that were going on this last week that, oh, and I do want to say, I wish my friends all the best, right? I want happiness for them. That's what I wish for. But I still miss them. It's still sad. So last week was our Xyngular conference, Zing Fling. and it was in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And that's actually the first conference I've missed since 2018. The very first conference I've missed. Um, there was just too much going on at home on the home front for me as a mom, and I just couldn't go. We had a very good friend that was in the hospital with some crazy stuff. My brother was in the hospital with some crazy stuff. Uh, I just didn't feel like I could be far from home. Gage and Braden, they had their first orchid show, and it was like the biggest, like the first one that they've put on as president and vice president of the Central East Texas Orchid Society. It was fantastic. This kid like sold almost $4,000 worth of plants. I mean, that is crazy town good, right? I'm so proud of him and Braden and the work that they're doing. Like, it's really good stuff. And the show was beautiful. It was totally beautiful. And if you missed it, you should be ashamed of yourself that you didn't go support those kids because they worked really freaking hard for that. Um, and then we had a run in with one of our kids this week that's not normal. He's going through some stuff, and so if you could just say some prayers for that, right? I'm not going to go into detail, but just say some prayers because he definitely needs it. He needs some guidance, and he needs some respect for his parents for sure, especially when he lives here for free. Um, yeah, you know, I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Life is never, y'all. If you think life's supposed to be easy, it's not. It is always going to be full of trials and tribulations. And, sometimes we can't always be everywhere we want to be. I hated missing our event. I hated not being with my team, but I also knew that they were well taken care of while they were there. But sometimes your heart just pulls at you that you need to be home. And so I'm glad I was. And I'm glad I have that option, right? I mean, with this business, I work on my own schedule, on my own time. I still work hard every single day. But, here's the thing, I can work real hard for the morning. And then once I get my work done, everything else that I do on top of that is cake for the rest of the day, right? But I pretty much have my day to do what I need to do. If that's not a blessing, I don't know what is. But I've worked hard for that. And I've worked every day. I mean, I can count 3 days in the last 7 years that I have completely taken off work and put my phone down and not touched it. 3 days. And that was when we were in Belize and I just needed a reset, right? I don't do it because it's work. I do it because I love it, because I'm passionate about it, and I love helping people and I love changing lives. So I deliver results when making excuses is an option because it's what I love to do. My work is my hope for the future. People ask me, why are you working all the time? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? How come you're not enjoying? It is enjoyable to me. And I do love it. That's why I do it. So find something that you love that doesn't feel like work to you and do it to the best of your ability. Do it excellent. And you will be shocked at how much it grows and how big it can become if you put your all into it. I'm serious. I'm so grateful for this opportunity that I got that a friend told me about 8 years ago. Because if I didn't have it, I would still be sitting in a damn cubicle working on somebody else's time. And I am totally okay with not doing that. So if you're thinking about something like that, you should seriously message me because I have the vehicle to help you. You just have to ask how to do it. Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. Love you lots. Peace out, homies. See you later.